We have breaking news right now. Democratic House Leader Hakeem Jeffries is speaking on Capitol Hill ahead of the expected third vote for House Speaker. Let's listen.
Yeah, right.
I got you, Lauren.
Yeah, we just need a clear line for the TV cameras.
Guys,
you can't be in front of that.
Yassine, you good? Okay.
All right, thank you, everybody. House Democrats have repeatedly made clear that we are ready, willing, and able to find a bipartisan path forward to reopen the House so we can get the business of the American people done, so we can stand by our friends and allies throughout the world like Israel and Ukraine, provide humanitarian assistance to Palestinians who may be in harm's way, and meet the health, the safety, and the economic well-being needs of everyday Americans. House Democrats have repeatedly made clear we want to find a bipartisan path forward.
Leader Jeffries.
At every step of the way, Republicans have rejected bipartisanship and embraced extremism. Jim Jordan is a clear and present danger to our democracy. He wants to end Social Security as we know it. He wants to end Medicare as we know it. Doesn't believe that President Biden was elected in 2020. That's disrespectful to the American people. Jim Jordan wants to impose a nationwide abortion ban, and he is the poster child for MAGA extremism. We are saying to our traditional Republican colleagues, good men and women on the other side of the aisle, in the attachment to the extremist Jim Jordan and join with Democrats in finding a bipartisan path forward.
Mr. Jeffries,
Catherine Clark.
We are 17 days in to a choice by the majority of chaos, a choice to reject coming together and putting the people of this great country over their civil war, their partisan bickering and movement to extremism. This is a choice by the majority, and we are re-emphasizing what our caucus and leader has been saying for the past 2 weeks. Come together. You are weakening our country. You are weakening this institution. You are ignoring the work of the American people. The time is now. Choose a bipartisan path forward.
Peter Aguilar.
Jim Jordan has failed at every vote, and he's going to continue to fail. House Democrats are united behind Leader Jeffries. We want a path forward. We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to meet the needs of the American public. 2 objectives this week for House Democrats. One is to make sure Jim Jordan does not get close to the Speaker's chair. And the second is to reopen the House of Representatives. We still have work to do, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it together. We're going to advocate for a bipartisan path forward and continue that discussion until we open up the chamber.
Leader Jeffries, it seems like a bipartisan path forward is what you're talking about, but in our conversations with Republicans, it sounds dead. What makes you think that there's a reason for it to be revived?
Well, there are still reasonable Republicans over on the other side of the aisle, as I've repeatedly said, good men and women who want the House reopened, who want the Congress to function. And what we've said is we just want a House that allows for bipartisan bills that benefit the American people, not Democrats or Republicans, the American people. We want a House that allows for bipartisan bills to receive up or down votes, that will receive the majority of members on both sides of the aisle, but are being blocked right now by the extremists.
Leader Jeffries, if you would have all of your people here this weekend to continue to block Mr. Jordan, that you have enough votes every single roll call vote this weekend?
We recognize that Jim Jordan is a clear and present danger to the American people, and we are going to be here for as long as it takes to end this national nightmare.
Have you heard from any moderate Republicans who would be willing to partner with you on a speaker candidate?
It's a question you should ask them.
Have they talked to you?
At this point, would you ever vote for Patrick McHenry on the floor?
I've said repeatedly that there are many Republicans on the other side of the aisle who we believe are good Americans, good patriots, good men and women. Patrick McHenry is one of them, there are others.
Sir, have you spoken directly with any of your Republican colleagues about a bipartisan path forward?
I haven't spoken directly with Patrick McHenry.
What do you say to those who believe Democrats are to blame for the situation that we're in, since you all voted with those 8 Republicans to oust McCarthy?
Well, the job of the House Republicans is to elect a speaker who can get to 218 votes and to sustain a speaker at 218 votes. That is the job of the majority. From the very beginning of the Republic, going back to 1789. And by the way, who created Jim Jordan? Who normalized Jim Jordan? Who was about to nominate? Who was about to nominate Jim Jordan? That's clear.
And are you okay if they were to go ahead and elect a Speaker pro tem, as they did in the early 60s after Speaker Ray Burns, so the House could operate? I mean, that's what you're saying here, that type of option is on the table, and that's something you'd be okay with because of the...
What we're saying is that all options are on the table to get the House back open so we can do the business of the American people.
Would you want concessions?
The only name that's in that conversation.
Say that again?
Is McHenry the only name that's in that conversation?
No.
Who are the other
Then
names?
what are the
Is
other
it Steve
options?
Womack? Are there other names? Can we just kind of get into detail?
I think you've got to ask the other side of the aisle who they're willing to put forward.
We have been.
If you guys if every Democrat went to the floor and they voted for a Republican today, you could probably find a handful of Republicans who would join you organically in that moment. Would you take that step today?
Voted for a Republican to be Speaker of the House?
Yes.
We'd have to have a real conversation about what that would look like.
Is that a challenge because your side, obviously there are some on your side who just have such antipathy for Republicans that they could not potentially do that?
No, let's be clear. Let's be clear. We have said repeatedly for the last 2 weeks that we are ready, willing, and able to find a bipartisan path forward, to enter into a partnership with our Republican colleagues, to reopen the House, to get the business of the American people done, to solve problems for hard-working American taxpayers. We just need some traditional Republicans to join us. Instead of rejecting bipartisanship, they need to stop embracing extremism.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.